I went to school with a guy all the way from elementary through high school. And we graduated at the same time. And I didn't realize it until maybe a few years out of high school that he had faked not being retarded his whole life. He had somehow flown under the radar as a person who was like, he shouldn't have been in the same classes with everyone else.
Oh, he was retarded and he faked not being. Then he's not retarded.
No.
Yeah,
Everyone just thought he was weird. Everyone thought he was silly and funny, and that was his sense of humor. But then it came time when everyone got their driver's licenses, and
Yeah,
he couldn't
his
read.
said play school.
No, he couldn't read. He couldn't read, and no one had ever noticed it. He was 16. We were in high school. No one knew that Rick couldn't read.
The teachers are retarded.
Jeez. Yeah, the teachers.
The teachers know he can't read. They're pushing him on through the system.
But you know, we spoke about that when I was learning to become a teacher. The like American school system ended up following like the same motto as the U.S. Marines, which was "Leave no man behind." So they actually don't let you fail. You keep going forward. So
what would
like
be the
that's
point of
literally
keeping
that
you?
person's like a victim of that system. That they're like showing up to school in the 10th grade, and they're like, I still never really grasped the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone failing throughout my like bit through school, and it was always because I always like rode that line between failure myself because I wanted to do as little as possible. That's my style, and so like I would be calculating like the most difficult part about school was calculating how low I could score on something.
Yeah, all the time.
I should have shown them those notes, and they'd be like, you know what, bonus. How about 5 points bonus on that midterm? This is impressive.
Then you're like, oh, I got to redo the math. I got that 5 points.
I lost my train of thought, but yeah, like the whole time, just riding by as low and easy.
No one ever failed. You were saying?
Oh, no one ever failed, including me, because it was my biggest fear. I think I've mentioned before. I think I technically did miss too many days. I don't think they should have given me my diploma. It literally came down to my dad being like, it came down to a teacher being intimidated by my dad a little bit and fixing some paperwork and saying that I was there enough days. I'd only missed it by half a day. Like you could miss like 5 days of each class. To a normal person, they think I can miss 5 days of school. But to me, I'm like, oh, we can mix and match. We could leave early some days. We could come in late some days. I've just got to keep track. And I think what had happened, because I'm going off his paperwork, I just opened his like thing of attendance and go through and count. And like, I can miss a whole nother day. So I just didn't show up. And like we
miscounted.
And like got paperwork that said, you know, you don't get no diploma. And like, but like I know this guy, and like the real world, we shoot together, and I go to the gun club, and I'm like, Mr. So-and-so failed me. And everybody's like, you failed Lamar's boy?
Well, not anymore, and I want to lose friends over it.
And literally, like first of all, my dad wouldn't give a shit. My mom would be the one upset. My dad would be like, good one. Guess you're going to summer school to make up half a day of shop. You know, that would have been his reaction. But this guy named Bart York, who's this comical Southern guy with a stutter, was like, Lamar Myers, whoop a man's ass over something like this. And like Bart knows what he's doing. Like
this.
Like Bart knows that my dad's not gonna whoop anybody's ass. Like certainly not my school teacher. Like, but Mr. So-and-so is starting to like buy into it. And when my dad pulls up, he beats me to my dad's truck. And he's like in the window, hey, we're going to fix this whole thing with Kyle's grades and everything. My dad didn't even know. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like, you know, like it was great though. He fixed it. Thank God. And I got my diploma, I guess.
So you're technically a high school graduate.
Technically I am.
And that's all that counts.
That's all that counts.
Yeah. I don't remember anybody failing either. I remember that one guy I went to 8th grade with who on his diploma, it said, thank you for participating in the 8th grade instead of you graduated. But he didn't even get held back. So like the next year,
thank you
I was
for
like,
participating in the
it literally, it was after,
insane.
it was after 8th grade graduation. And I've said it before, and I was talking to him, and he was like, he hated school so much. And like, he aggressively was bad at school. And so like, we were all chatting afterward. He was like, guys, look at this. It's hilarious. And we're like, dude, Jack, it says that you just participated in 8th grade. He's like, I know, dude. And then like he just like left laughing. And then like, first day of freshman year, because we were going to the same high school, he showed up. And you know, that's just the way it went. Like he finished high school with us.
I'll give you one better than that. I skipped 6th and 7th grade with no protocol whatsoever. I didn't take 6th or 7th grade.
What did you do?
I worked with my dad. I worked with my dad and hunted and learned to shoot things at long range.
So you just didn't
that is 6th and 7th grade where you live.
Oh yeah, Kyle does not know how to multiply fractions.
He just wasn't in school. You know, like
let's ask 6th and 7th grade things.
Yeah, I can teach you 6th and 7th grade in a month. By the way, if you ever want it. 1 month.
How about this? 6th and 7th grade questions for Kyle. Kyle, what is the capital of Michigan?
Oh no, Michigan?
It's not Detroit, I guess.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure I know. I should pick
no, I don't know my capitals. I don't know my capitals.
See,
really
that's
don't.
6th grade.
I knew them at one point because I remember going through them, but I don't know the capital of Michigan. Is it Lansing or something?
Yes,
it is.
Oh,
look at that! You didn't fucking need 6th grade.
Yeah. No, when I got back, no 6th or 7th grade, and I got back to start 8th grade, and they're like, "Oh, you just have to take this test." It was just math.
You were gone
Nothing
for
else.
2 years from like other children and stuff in the woods hunting with your dad.
Yeah,
it explains so much.
Yeah. Like no socialization. I was a real fucked up dog getting thrown back into the pack.
Yeah, how was that like? How was that?
Oh,
that's like better than 6th and 7th grade. I feel like kids should do that instead.
Oh, it's my favorite time. So they give me this test, and I had been taking like practice tests and stuff to like, you know, get prepped for like this big test we're going to take, because that's going to determine how they place me in the 8th grade. And while I don't need to be in any advanced classes, I don't want to be in any like remedial classes either. You know, I don't want that. So I tried a good bit on the practice test that my mom got me. When I got there, it was the practice test. And I had to make a conscious decision not to ace fucking algebra and geometry. Like
that's a smart decision at your age, by the way.
I was like, I think I can get like a high 90 on this, because I've drawn that fucking cube or whatever so many times now. Like I've done it 3 times before this exact test. I literally decided, like, if I ace this shit, they're gonna put me in. Like I barely know this shit. Just so we're all clear. Like
you've memorized it, but you don't understand why those equations get to where they go.
Geometry, I didn't understand graphing because it hadn't been explained to me properly. Which is, who knows whose fault that might have been. I think it was that teacher in 8th grade, actually.
Probably skipping 2 years and hanging in the woods.
That could have done it. But yeah, but I can calculate the ballistic coefficiency of a fucking rifle round in a heartbeat, you know. So that's what really matters.
Yeah, well, we all can, you know.
Yeah,
it goes quick,
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna really need that skill going forward. No, I like that I did that. I think that did make me a different kind of person, because I was hanging out with adults all day, right? Like I was not hanging out with kids at all. I was hanging out with like my dad's friends and associates. And there were times when I was like 13 and like running a crew of like Mexican guys, like me on a tractor, and them like shoveling stuff into it as I tell them what to do. And meanwhile, I feel like my compatriots over at Franklin County Middle School were probably like fucking finger painting or some shit in art class. I don't know.
Was there an aspect of jealousy? Because I imagine if I had to go to school and then some guy showed up 8th grade day 1, it's like, you just skipped the last 2 years? Are you kidding me? Like, were people like, what the hell? Like, that was awesome. What was that like? I would have been so fascinated, someone just skipping 2 years of school and showing up.
I have no memory of like big parts of that time. I'm not really sure what the memory, what the reaction was for me coming back, or if there was one.
Blackout drunk fixing cars with my dad.
No. I remember all that really well, but like I don't remember what going back to school was even like. I know they put me on Adderall pretty quick, so it couldn't have gone too well. I think that's a sign. But I don't really remember a lot of that too well. It couldn't have gone well. Like popping back after being gone for 2 years, like having no friends, and like I think everybody had gotten on like AOL, and like I didn't even know what the fuck that was. And it was hard.
You didn't have AIM? You weren't messaging?
It was hard to get like integrated into the system. I've been out for 2 years skinning deer,
Yeah.
You were institutionalized.
I showed up wearing my moccasins that I'd made, and I thought they were so cool.
That's hilarious. You made your own moccasins and you showed up like this is gonna endear me to the kids.
Yeah, that's a thing that really happened. Yeah.
I was like, really thinks that's real.
I totally believe that.
No,
I love that you doubled down.
Yeah.
Last week we were both on the same fell for something train. I think it was.
I was like,
it
he
was
didn't know that was a
Finn's
joke. I
episode
didn't make no
or
fucking
something,
moccasins. I just like shooting deer. I had a big bag of jerky, maybe.
I had moccasins when I was that age, and I would wear them around in the woods when I was like fucking cowboys and Indians.
It probably would have been something that lame. I was always bad at usernames. I didn't know what to put. It goes back to that like not wanting to be a phony thing, right? Like when you pick your motorcycle gear or your paintball gear or whatever, it's like I don't think you're the Mohawk man, dude. Do you really need the Mohawk on your helmet? Like,
dude,
maybe that's not you.
that
Yeah,
happens
what you like.
as I age. Like there are things that I think are cool, but don't feel cool enough to wear. I'm 49. Those sneakers that I love so much. Like at 19, I wore fucking track shoes at school. I didn't run. I thought they were neat. And I think I pulled them off because I was like athletic and shit. And I can wear track shoes. Now, me shows up with track shoes. What am I cosplaying as a young person? Like that's bullshit. You can't just wear whatever you want. You have to thread the needle. The reason dads dress like dads is because they're not allowed to dress like high school kids without looking like freaks. So they just get stuck in that lane. And I try to thread the needle somewhat. I mean, more so recently. Don't judge me from like 2012 when I had mandals. But I try to thread the needle of like looking good and staying fit-ish and I guess dressing appropriately without dressing like a child.
Yeah. I really don't like the idea of being seen as a poser or someone who's trying to be something else. That was one thing I didn't like. Like I didn't give a shit if people thought I was a Russian or a communist or like Spetsnaz or whatever they wanted to call me. But I really didn't like it when they were like, he wants to be an army man and he can't. I'm like, that is not what I want. I would hate to be an army man. If I want to be an army man, I'd be an army man, but I don't want to fucking simplify and salute all of you and thank you for your service and suck your army dicks, like all that. But no, that is not what I want. I made a conscious decision not to do that. I am shooting fucking pumpkins for a reason. Maybe you missed the first 4 jokes I told until we got to the point where I shot the pumpkin, you dumb. But no, I do not want to be an army man, and I'm not trying to look like an army man. And if I'm wearing something, I'm being paid to wear it. I didn't choose it.
Dude, you did like the way that your hairstyle at the time when you started FPSRussia perfectly aligned with what an Eastern European would look like if he just showed up.
Yeah,
always.
Like,
People are always like, "Is he really Russian?" It's like, yeah, bro, look at his hair.
Yeah, look at his hair.
Of course.
Yeah, some
I will
Croatian.
throw no stones.